Okay, hello everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back. Bonjour, bonjour à tous, bonjour à toutes. Comment ça va? Vous avez passé une bonne journée, une bonne semaine? Oui, ça va bien? Okay. All right, so this lesson we're going to talk about colors, or les couleurs. And it's lesson 6. So let's get to it. What are we covering? Today we're going to be talking about colors, different national flags, and other national symbols of France. We'll compare the national symbols of France, the United States, and Canada. I wrote French Canada, but I meant to say Canada overall. But we could talk a little bit about French Canada. And then we'll talk about grammar that's relevant to talking about colors. Okay, so first we're going to cover la grammaire, or grammar, everybody's favorite part. So the general rules when talking about colors, when referring to a noun and its color, the French structure is a little different. I meant to say a little, not much. So excuse my typo, but a little different than the English. You're going to follow the noun adjective structure. So you have your article for the noun, and you have your noun, then you have your adjective. So let's say just for a quick example, even though you don't know the colors yet, let's say a blue car. La voiture bleue. Wow. La voiture bleue. Excuse me. So when speaking about the color of itself or as a noun, all of them are the masculine gender. So un bleu, un rose, le rose, le bleu, stuff like that. But when you're using it as an adjective, like I have here, when you're using the color as an adjective, it must agree with the gender of the noun it is describing. So like I said with the blue car, la voiture, la voiture, la voiture, ture, it's hard to say, la voiture, bleu. So the car is a feminine word. So it's la voiture and then bleu. And as you're going to see on the next slide or in the coming slides, you'll see the difference between the feminine and masculine blue. Like I said, I'll provide some examples as we learn the basic colors and other vocab. So next, le vocabulaire. Vocabulary. Everybody else's favorite part. Let's go. So you have les couleurs et d'autres mots. Colors and some other words. So here I have both the masculine and feminine form. And there's even forms that you would put it in the plural form, which most of them would turn neutral. But we're not going to get into that right now. We're just going to look at le bleu or la bleu. As you can see, like I said with the car, la voiture bleue, you would use this. Excuse me. So as you can see, le bleu, la bleu, blue, le rouge, la rouge, red. So rouge, rouge, le, la, rouge, le blanc, la blanche. So le blanc, la blanche is white. Le vert, la verte is green. So here, as you can see, when there's the E in the feminine form, you're going to pronounce the T then. So la verte, green. Le vert, la verte, green. Le jaune, la jaune, yellow. And like with red, it doesn't change, just the article changes. Le noir, la noire, you just add an E onto the end, and that's black. Le violet, la violette. So like with green, you add the E, but here you also add a T. So the double T gets pronounced. Then you have le violet, la violette, purple. Then you have le rose, la rose, rose. Le rose, la rose, pink. Brown, you have le marron, la marron. Le marron, la marron. Brown. Excuse me again. Phew. Then you have l'orange, which is the same for both because there's an out, it's a vowel. So it's an L apostrophe. Then you have le gris, la grise. Le gris, la grise. It's just like with the E on vert. The E on gris causes you to pronounce the S. So la grise, gray. Then we have some specific terms that I figured would be nice to learn with colors. You have foncé is dark, foncé. Then you have clair, which is light, so clair. So again, if you want to say like dark blue, you would use foncé, or you use bleu foncé, or if you wanted to say a light red, you could say rouge clair. Then you have fluo for fluorescent, so fluo. Fade for faded or washed out, fade. Then you have vif, which in the literal sense means lively, which but when we translate it like this, it means bright. So vif is bright. And then this little sentence, this little phrase here, you can use une nuance de, or a shade of. So une nuance de. Yep. All right. Les couleurs pour des cheveux. Colors for hair. So here are the different hair colors. These are the most common hair colors for people, natural hair colors. Of course, you could dye your hair any color you'd like. Anyway, you have le blond, le blond. You don't really pronounce the D in the masculine form of blonde, le blond, but then the E here in the feminine form, you'd pronounce it la blonde, so blonde. Then you have le brun and la brune. Le brun, it's a hard word to say, le brun, la brune, brown or brunette. And you have le roux for red. It's a little different than, it's not rouge, it's le roux. Then you have la rousse. So as you can see in this feminine form, it changes from an X to a double S and an E. So le roux, la rousse, la rousse, red. It's just a little difficult to pronounce. And then you have les noirs, which is black. And then when it's turned into the plural form, as you can see here with les, you just add an S onto noir. And then, yeah. So when talking about the hair color, the adjective again, wow, excuse me. The color is the adjective again and comes after the noun. So if I wanted to say I have blonde hair, which I don't, but hypothetically, I'd say j'ai des cheveux blonds. J'ai des cheveux bruns, roux, noirs. If a girl wanted to say that she had blonde hair, she would say, or if we wanted to say a girl had blonde hair, you'd say, elle a des cheveux blonds, des cheveux bruns, des cheveux rousses, ou des cheveux noirs. Anyway, these are the way that they are conjugated and changed depending on the gender. If it's any other color and it isn't a specific shade of hair that is common like these four, you would just do what you do here with les noirs. You would take the color and you would structure it in the plural neutral form and you would use that. So like, if I wanted to say I have green hair, j'ai des cheveux verts, but it would be V-E-R-T-E-S. So that's what you would do there. Hopefully that helps. Now I have a little video here, also from Alain Lulé. We had a video from the same source last lesson. And again, I think this source is wonderful. They offer a little bit of a kiddie style. Maybe if you're in middle school or high school, it might seem a little too simple, but the simple stuff really, really helps. So.
J'aime les voitures, les rouges, les bleus, les blanches, les noires et les violettes. J'aime les voitures, les jaunes, les vertes, les roses, les beiges et les violettes. J'aime les camions, les rouges, les bleus, les blancs, les noirs et les violets. J'aime les camions, les jaunes, les verts, les roses, les beiges et les violets. Il y en a de toutes les couleurs, il y en a de toutes les couleurs, il y en a de toutes les couleurs. J'aime les voitures, les rouges, les bleus, les blanches, les noires et les violettes. J'aime les voitures, les jaunes, les vertes, les roses, les beiges et les violettes. J'aime les camions, les rouges, les bleus, les blancs, les noirs et les violets. J'aime les camions, les jaunes, les verts, les roses, les beiges et les violets. Il y en a de toutes les couleurs, il y en a de toutes les couleurs.
So again, very simple song, just like last week's song. They go through one verse with the words, and then they go through it again without the words. But basically, the song just lets you see. You get to learn about les voitures, the cars, et les camions or trucks. But you get to see how the colors are conjugated differently and spelled differently and structured differently when you're using the two different genders. And you can also see how things are said. You can also hear the pronunciation, and I think that this is a really beneficial short video for you. So I hope it was helpful. All right, partner activity. So for this partner activity, you're gonna write down on a piece of paper two things. One, your favorite color, and then two, the color of the outfit you are wearing today, or the colors. So, and then with a partner, you're gonna ask and be asked what your favorite color is and what you are wearing today. So like last week or last lesson when we talked about clothes, you could say what you're wearing again, but this time include the color of the clothing. So for example, if somebody asked me what color do I like the most, je préfère le vert. I prefer green. If you were to ask me what I was wearing today, aujourd'hui, je porte un t-shirt bleu, un t-shirt blanc, un jean noir, des chaussettes noires, et ouais, yeah. So just the grammar tips for this, when asking somebody their favorite color, quelle est ta couleur préférée? What is your color preferred? What is your preferred color? And then you would respond with saying je préfère, or you could get fancy and say la couleur que je préfère est. So if you don't want to have to say all that, you could just say je préfère. If you need to look back on any notes from last week's lesson, or if you don't have notes, if you need to look at the last week's video, if you still have it, you could look at, even if you need to pull it up on YouTube, where I post these for school, you could look at the video and pull the vocab for the clothing from there. So hopefully this is a fun activity. Sure it will be. All right. So now next we're going to talk about quelques drapeaux nationaux et symboles de différents pays. Some national flags and symbols of different countries. Okay. So first we're going to talk about La France, or France. I know my face is cutting off some words here, but all I'm saying is the French flag, like the American flag, is red, white, and blue, or rouge, bleu, et blanc. Rouge, bleu, et blanc, or rouge, blanc, bleu, I meant to say. I mistyped, excuse me. But on the flag, you can see it's bleu, blanc, rouge. The tricolor flag, or le drapeau tricolore en français, was adopted in the mid-19th century. And before that, the flag would usually bear the symbol of the monarch in power. And then on pretty much, but today, I meant to say, excuse me, bouncing all over the place. But today they have the tricolor flag. On pretty much every government building or any statue, any state-funded organization, you will see the French Republic symbol, which is right here, um, with La République Française. And then you're going to see their motto, Liberté, Égalité, et Fraternité. And if you learned about it at all in history, that comes from the French Revolution. But the flag today, the red, white, and blue flag today also has influence from the revolution. So a lot of this stuff comes from that type of time. But even though the tricolor flag wasn't adopted until I think it was 1848, I'm not 100% sure, so don't quote me. The rooster, or the Gaelic rooster, I meant to say, or le coq gallois, is the French national bird, and it is the ode to the French Gaelic roots, the people who migrated towards France before they were known as the French. The people who first came to what would become France were les Gallois, or the Gaelics, people of Gaelic descent. So that is here. I have a logo, which is it's from Le Coq Sportif, which is a sports brand. It's kind of like France's Nike, kind of. So yeah, that's that. You can see the rooster in the middle, and then you have the red, the white, and the blue. Or wow, the blue, the white, and the red. Excuse me, I'm getting it backwards. I'm so used to our own flag. But anyway, next you have the fleur de lis, which is right here, which is another symbol of the French people. It's been around for a really, really long time. So yeah, here is an imperial coat of arms, or a national coat of arms, excuse me, not imperial. And you can see the liberté, fraternité, égalité. So yeah, I just wanted to show that. And then of course the national sport is soccer. And I'm just including the sports because you get to see a little bit of difference. And we all know that sports is important in our country, so it's important in their country too. Excuse me. Oh, okay, les États-Unis, or the United States. I know my face is cutting off the words here too, but the American flag, like the French flag, is red, white, and blue. And I didn't get into too terribly much detail because we are, if not all of us, most of us are Native Americans, or born Americans, excuse me, not Native Americans. So a lot of us have probably most definitely have learned about this stuff. So yeah, the national animal of America, or the national symbol, or the animal that is our national symbol, excuse me, is the bald eagle, as you can see here on our national seal. And our national motto, or one of our national mottos, is E pluribus unum, which most of you have probably heard of before, but it's from Latin, which means out of many, one. And then another motto we have is, of course, in God we trust. It's on our coins, if you ever look at the back of them. Then you have the Statue of Liberty. I thought that was I think that's one of the biggest national symbols of our country. Coincidentally, it was a gift from the French. So yeah, it's pretty cool. But she stands in New York Harbor at Ellis Island, and I thought it was one of the biggest symbols because all the immigrants who would come into Ellis Island in the past 200 years would would see this when they come by boat, or whenever. So I figured this was the lady that she greets the people. So I figured this would be a big symbol. And our national sport is football, of course. I know everybody doesn't love the NFL, but it's definitely the most watched sport in the country. Okay, and finally, Le Canada, Canada. So the Canadian flag is only red and white and has the maple leaf in the middle. The flag is really important for a lot of Canadians. It's one of the biggest symbols they have to kind of give themselves a sense of individuality. I learned in a different multicultural class that the flag is the biggest symbol for the people of Canada because lot of times people don't know Canadian history or Canadian differences from American differences. Even I myself don't know too much don't know too terribly much Canadian history. So a lot of people assume that they are very similar to Americans. And not to say that they dislike Americans, but they use the flag and the maple leaf so people can discern that they are Canadian and they're not American, because people just think North America. Not all people think this, but some people who don't know the regions think that North America is just this big conglomerate country that is run by America or overwhelmingly powered by America, which isn't necessarily the case. Or not America, but the United States. So yeah, their national animal is the beaver, and reasons for this could be traced back to colonial times because of fur trading. But I don't think the beaver was actually nationally or officially chosen as the animal until the 20th century. Anyway, the national motto on their seal, which is in Latin, is Amari usque ad mare. Amari usque ad mare, excuse me. And it means from sea to sea, which you can see here. Amari usque ad mare. Excuse me if my Latin is off. I don't 100% know the Latin pronunciation, but it is interesting because both Canada's and our seals have Latin on them, and French and other Romance languages like English and whatnot are derived from Latin. So there's that continuity and that similarity. So I always thought that was interesting. As you can see here, on the coat of arms, there's the British flag, and I believe that's the old French flag or the old Quebec flag, but you could see the fleur-de-lis and you could see the British cross or the British flag here. And you could see it again, the maple leaves and some other monarchical rules and their symbols. So you could see that Canada is just this mixture of people who originated from different European places. So it's very cool to see that they have all this on their seal, which is why I included it. And their national sport is ice hockey. So if you know anything about the Canadians, they're pretty festive about hockey, just like we are when it comes to football. So I have this video. It's a quick little video, 2.5 minutes. It's from Kids Learning with Rikio. He has a bit of an accent, and some of the words he doesn't pronounce like a typical Frenchman, but or a French kid. But we'll go over them and we'll talk about them. So, yeah.
Everyone, today we will visit France and learn all the national symbols of France. So fasten your seatbelts and enjoy this journey with Ricky. Flag. The flag of France is a tricolor and consists in 3 vertical stripes of equal width, colored in royal blue, white, and red. Cockade. The cockade of France is the national ornament of France. Anthem. La Marseillaise. Official name. France Republic. Area. According to the area, France is the 42nd country. Motto. Liberty, equality, and fraternity. Continent, Europe. Capital, Paris. Language, French. Currency, Euro. Date format, DD, MM, YY. Majority religion, Christianity. Calling code +33. The driving side in France is right side. Niger River, Seine. National Day, 14th July. Largest city, Paris. National bird, Gallic rooster. National animal, Gallic rooster. National flower, iris. National fruit, pear. National dog, the poodle. Popular games, football, tennis, and cycling. Wasn't it amazing journey? We learned lots of things about France. See,
So yeah, this is it's a pretty informative video. It's pretty basic. Includes a lot of different things that you would like to know about, or you should know about France if you're really interested in the country and the language. As he said, the national anthem, which he pronounced a little, which wouldn't be pronounced the French way. It is the Marseillaise, and he just couldn't pronounce that because of his accent, which is totally fine. So again, it's the Marseillaise. And then talked about the date format. The date format, they put the day, the month, and then the year. We do month, day, and then year. So it's a little flip flop. And then he also talked about the national holiday being the 14th of July, like our national holiday is the 4th of July. They do the 14th of July because that was the day of the storming of the Bastille, which was a prison in Paris, and that day is normally looked upon as the day that started the bulk of the French Revolution. So that is why that is the day they celebrate. Yeah, other than that, I mean, nailed everything on the head. It was good. I hope you liked the video. Okay, so the final activity. In this activity, you're going to partner up with somebody or work with the person who's closest to you. And if you can't work with somebody who's close to you, you could just write these things down by yourself. Just no problem. But if you can work with somebody, go ahead. The main question is, if you could create the new national flag, motto, and symbols for the US, what would you choose and why? So when you're writing this all down, excuse me, this is what you're going to want to have. You're going to want to have a new flag with its colors and the reasoning why you chose those colors. You don't need to draw out the new flag, you just explain it. You just write out your reasoning. If you want to keep it red, white, and blue, honestly, you can keep it red, white, and blue. If you want to just change the way the flag looks, go ahead. If you could create a new national seal, like you saw the eagle behind the shield with the ribbon saying E pluribus unum, if you could come up with a new seal, and if that's what you want, you could do that. Then you could come up with a new motto. You could put that motto on the seal, or you could make it separate, and then you can come up with your reasoning for that motto. And then finally, you could do a national animal. If you don't think the bald eagle is our national animal, or if you think there's another animal that could serve as the national animal, go for it. Come up with a new national anthem. You don't have to come up with an actual anthem. Maybe come up with a title. Come up with a title for it. If it's not the Star Spangled Banner, what do you think the national anthem could be called? And then come up with a new national monument. If you want to think of a monument that's out there now, because we have thousands of them in our country, if you think another monument, maybe like Mount Rushmore or something else, maybe something in DC or something in Virginia with Robert E. Lee's site, see if you can come up with something new there. It doesn't have to be totally new. If you want to create something new, go for it. It doesn't have to be. Once you have all this written down, share with the rest of the club or the other students in the room with you. If you're all together, you can share with them what you and your partner came up with, or if you worked alone, what you came up with. Yeah, I think that would be fun. Yeah. So, and that's the end there. So, like last week, I didn't create any outside exercises because I really want you all to learn within the lesson. I think it helps best. Plus, I don't know if you all really have access to all that stuff on the outside. I found a Quizlet set I think was helpful. I'll leave the link for that so you can study. You can look back through the video if you need to study or want to study. It's fine. But yeah, I hope the lesson was fun. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope it wasn't too long, too short, too much, or too little. But yeah, have a good day. Bonne journée. Un bon weekend if it's Friday. Yeah, have a good day. I will see you next time. Bye bye.